County. I thought it might be fitting today, since it's St. Patrick's Day, to give you a little history of Hendricks County. Many of the early settlers in Hendricks County were Irish immigrants. And they were actually, most of them were digging the trenches to put the clay tile in so that the farmland so that soils could be farmed and grow crops rather than being wet and whatever and so forth. And they used spades, and probably maybe most of you are familiar with a spade, but the spades that they used were much longer on their blade and much wider, but they would dig and pull the soil out, but they had to be wide enough so that the clay tile could then be placed in and then the soil put back. Unbelievable that they would do that for 10, 12 hours a day. This is a good time to be alive right now, I think. So I wanted to share that, if you'll hopefully bear with me on that. Mr. Cox, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please join us.
Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay. The first item on our agenda will be the approval of the minutes of our February 17th meeting of the council.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 17th meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0.
Mr. President, I need to abstain.
Whoops.
Here's my
excuse me.
absence.
Approved 6-0 with an abstention by Mr. Parsons. Next item is approval of the joint meeting on February 17th of the commissioners and the council for those minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I need to abstain.
Yes. Approved 6-0 with one abstention. Next is under old business, the highway job description request pending finalization. Mr. Ayers?
One of these days I'll stop coming to you talking about personnel stuff, but
Promise?
I promise. I'm not gonna promise when, but one of these days I'll quit. So actually I have three things I want to talk to you about this morning. The first is a job description I'd like to submit for, I briefly mentioned it I think last month. And I know the policy is to not approve new positions except at budget time. I'd like to make an exception here and ask that we consider creating a new position at the highway for a shop foreman. I want to do that for several reasons. We had planned on doing that for budget year 27. But as I've been a little bit more intimately involved in things out there in the last few months, I think we need it sooner. And there's several reasons for that. One is, keep in mind, we're moving into a new facility this fall. And I'd like to have somebody taking charge of the vehicle maintenance part of that, how we're gonna set it up, what equipment we need, which we've already ordered some, but there's some we haven't ordered, kind of taking and organizing that area. I don't want us to move into a $19 million facility and not have it organized, not have it set up the way we need from day one. So I want somebody to kind of oversee that, how we have it set up, how we have it equipped, and then kind of with the move also, and get things moved and set up as we need them to. Secondly, we have at the highway garage, we have I think 66 pieces of equipment total, which includes 24 dump trucks and several other trucks and a lot of other stuff. I don't know the dollar value, but it's in the millions. We currently have 2 mechanics, and there's just an awful lot to do. We're outsourcing repairs that are beyond our capabilities, which we will continue to. But managing who we're outsourcing those to, because it's not all in the same place, depends on the dealer, depends on the type of equipment, depends on when we need it, depends on the type of repair. Keeping track of where we have stuff sent to, keeping track of if the repairs are reasonable, keeping track of when we have to send stuff back when they don't do it right, keeping parts inventory, monitoring recurring maintenance intervals, making sure we're hitting our maintenance intervals on our equipment. And that's a lot to do. And currently with just 2 people there, we're falling behind. And I really need somebody there that can oversee those mechanics. Those guys are mechanics. So I need somebody that can kind of manage their work, give them assignments that best use their time, decide what we're going to send out that's the most efficient to send stuff out, keep track of our parts inventory and these other things. So I feel very strongly it's a position we need sooner than later. I really don't want to wait till 27 to have somebody in that role. So right now, the assistant superintendent is taking a lot of that burden just because it's a lot for the mechanics to do at the same time as they're working on things. And quite honestly, some of that management stuff isn't always in the wheelhouse of the mechanics. I mean, they're not as good maybe at that as somebody else might be. So I think this is an important position that I would really like to consider creating mid-year. So I have created a job description. I've given it to Aaron. I can hand it out to you if you want copies of it just to look at.
John, that has been transmitted to a first person.
I don't know. I think
No.
she's waiting on, oh, it has? Okay.
No, it has been because I asked Aaron to do that.
I wasn't aware
I
that you
believe
had
it was
approved that
last
yet.
Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
And so that has already gone over. What I would like to have is discussion amongst, okay,
Just a test.
don't panic. I got a signal. Now, hopefully this is not real because I was told that this could happen during our meeting. So I didn't see anybody jump, but we shouldn't need to leave. So, but I wanted to have discussion amongst the council as to whether they think that this should be treated as an emergency or it should be part of, of our annual process during the budgeting process in the summer. Does anyone care to?
I think it makes sense to hire the person now because if not, when you hire that person, everything is gonna be stacks and piles and, I mean, people that are in the highway department now would probably do a decent job of organizing, but it's not gonna be the way that person would organize it as they're putting it together, so I'm okay with doing it now.
Any other?
I'm very much in favor of it with my history as auditor and highway, and Wayne worked out there, and I believe the position is well needed and should happen now or as soon as possible.
Any other?
John, when do you think we're gonna be able to move into the new building?
September is what we're shooting for. We were shooting for August, but we had some weather delays last spring and then a few more this winter, so probably September.
Well, to me, I think it kind of falls in the middle of things. I hate changing our policy on the hiring side of it, but I understand the need. And I could easily say that 30 days prior to the move, have the person in place so they could coordinate that move. If you're talking September there, we're probably talking next month for a final decision anyway on this, but yeah, I could go for 30 days before the move, but the majority of months now, that's fine with me.
Regarding the move, the planning for that move though has to start taking place prior to 30 days. I mean, again, we're trying to decide what equipment we're gonna move over, what equipment we're gonna keep, what equipment we're gonna buy new. And those kind of decisions really need to be made soon. I really hate to wait till August to do that and get ready for the move. And on top of that, again, we have the mounting maintenance costs on our vehicles we have today. So that's why I would ask for it to be created earlier even than that, would be my preference.
Mr. President, having had some history on fleet management, I will tell you that earlier is a little bit better because it takes a long time to get acclimated to a lot of the different groups, organizations, and contacts that you have to deal with to make sure you got them in there so that you can hit the ground running when the building's open. So I think probably sooner, and honestly, it probably should have been before now. I'm not being critical, but having been in that position, I think maybe a little bit earlier might have been even helpful. So that's just my opinion.
I guess I'm willing to deviate from what our policy has been, and I agree with what John said. There is a need. I was thinking more along the lines of June rather than August, and rather than before then. I would think that would be enough time for a new person to.
Reality is it probably would be June anyway. We have some interest in it, 2 inside and 1 outside already, people that I would consider talking to about it. So I don't know how long the hiring process would take, but I assume I'd need to come back to you next month for an additional appropriation based on the salary rating. And so, I mean, it'd be May probably, and wait for some money to start, I would guess.
Any other thoughts, comments?
I'm not in favor of it, John, at this time. I am in favor of the job, but I like to stay with the process of doing it at budget time. I'm the only one here that deals with the foreman on a regular basis. Dealing with one right now of getting ready to get my combine inspected this summer for harvest. Got a semi right now sitting on jacks. Getting ready to go to Peterbilt, get about $6,000 worth of parts, come back and start working on it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. This is part of management, and this is on you and Kirk. This should have been done a year ago. There's no reason to be procrastinating on this position. And I fault you and Kirk for that. So you got to take part of the blame for that. I'm sorry, but you got to.
Okay.
And we've tried to set this as a policy for all department heads and elected officials to go through the budget process. We just approved joint meeting or benefits last month with 400 and some odd people. It's on the plan. With almost 1,000 people, it's on the plan. We have to look at this as a total, how many people will be coming to us at budget time with new employees. There's the sheriff standing back here. I have no idea what he's gonna be coming to us with. I have no idea what others are gonna be coming with. We're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 more new employees. What's that gonna look like? I don't know. I would much rather wait, go through the process, and let us figure this out. What I would give is the latitude that if we think that everything is okay, that you could go ahead and hire this person immediately and try to get them on staff within 30 to 60 days after budget. And I would be okay with that.
After budget approval or
Yeah.
after budget hearings?
Yeah, because I think I get the census that everybody's okay with it, but I'm just not okay in doing it right now. Because I think that's disrespectful for a lot of others, of your peers and elected officials who's followed our policy and have waited. If we give a special exception now, then they're gonna line up over here and say, well, if you give it to John now in the highway department, then I want one for next month, and the month after that, and the month after that, and it's not fair.
I understand that that you're worried about the precedent. I understand that, but I don't believe it's being disrespectful to others. It's me trying to not put this off any further. Should have been done a year or so ago, maybe.
Well, that's still being disrespectful, John, because you wasn't doing your job of being a manager.
I'm not gonna argue with you about it. I don't agree, obviously, but I do take the blame for it
I
not
don't-
being done before now, and I'm trying to remedy that situation by doing it as soon as we can. So
I don't agree either, and I think you're being disrespectful by doing this in a public meeting. The thing is, it's a position that's needed. Yes, maybe you should have done it sooner,
probably, I don't.
but we make allowances and changes to this policy every single meeting. It's not like it's set in stone. So to say this is like unprecedented and we're setting a precedent, that's not true because we changed all of our how we pay employees 500 times last year. People come in and ask for stuff and we think it's important, we make allowances and allow it to happen. that's why I'm for it, and I think we should do it now.
Okay. I believe the consensus is basically 5-2, so I think we should proceed with this as an emergency.
Good.
So,
Denny, what are you?
I was just gonna say the commissioners are supportive of John and the department doing that.
we're 5-2, so it'll proceed as an emergency.
Can we take a vote on that?
Pardon?
Can we take a vote?
Well, we can take a vote. Is there a motion?
I move we move forward sooner rather than later.
Okay, we have a motion to move forward.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Just, I'm not sure that sooner is precise enough. If I might, I would move to amend the motion to say that we authorize after we've approved the job description and the salary, that we aim for a position to be filled sometime in June.
Is the amendment acceptable to
Much
you?
better motion.
As amended, is the second acceptable? Okay, we have a motion that's been amended and seconded. Is there further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-2.
Can I ask a question?
Sir?
Where is that policy? Things get said at meetings, we're not gonna do them except for budget time, which would be like 6 months till you can hire them. And when
I believe,
in the new salary ordinance,
I believe it's part of the
Compensation policy.
compensation policy that was passed last summer during the budget process.
with the timing of budgeting, you're talking 18 months to get a new employee if it's, and that's just not practical in a county that has doubled in size in 20 years.
Well, it would be for a new position.
That's what I
But
mean, for a
I
new
don't think it
position.
would be 18 months, it would be 6.
It depends
From
when-
the summertime, and so that we would.
But they
pass-
may have needed somebody
No, I
a
understand.
year ago,
I'm not disagreeing with
and they're
that at
waiting
all.
till
Okay.
budget, so that, a poor policy. I don't think I signed the policy manual, so disagree with that policy.
That should probably be the county handbook.
Thank you for, and I'll come back, probably depending on how that comes back from the evaluation. I'll come back next month then and ask for an additional appropriation, and we'll set it up. So, thank you for your help on that. The other two I want to bring up are some individuals, which again, according to the policy, if we change, I believe I'm saying this right, if we change pay rates, I have to come ask you for that. So I'm asking that right now on two individuals. At the highway, historically, the last few years, we've been having to hire people without CDLs, and we send them to training, and when they get their license, then we do it with a 2-year agreement that they're gonna pay us back if they leave in less than 2 years. We start them at an entry-level rate if they're non-CDL. Once they get their license, then we raise them up. So I have one individual who got his CDL last spring and was never raised up for whatever reason. And when I came into this and more actively involved in November, December, and found that had not happened with him, it was too late to do anything about it last year. So I'm asking if I can raise him up from the entry level to, they're a grade 26, I think, 25. Midpoint is 2574. Our lowest CDL driver right now is at 2472. And I've got two guys right now. This gentleman who took his CDL last year, and he's at 23. I'd like to raise him to 2472. 2253's bottom minimum. And then another guy who just completed CDL training 2 weeks ago, and I'd like to raise him up here in a couple weeks to that level also. We don't need an additional, we can transfer money and salaries to do that. I'm asking permission to change their pay rates.
Discussion?
Those two names, John?
Nick Lynch and Alex McCollum.
That'll require an amendment to the salary ordinance.
I'm sorry?
That will require an amendment to the salary ordinance.
Okay,
And that would fall into that 6-month review too, wouldn't it, Rhonda?
so we could determine if we agree with that today, and then next month we would have the ordinance amended.
Right, so on the agenda today, we have an amendment to the salary ordinance, which it'd be something very simple
So we
like
could
this.
include it with that today?
No, it'd have to be done next time.
It'd have to wait.
For Nick, I would like to make that retroactive for the first of the year, if I could, because he really should have had this done last year.
What has been the practice as far as when that increase occurs? Is it after the next budget year or when the CDL is actually?
Typically, once they get their CDL, and then my understanding is typically, once they get their CDL, and then we'll do a probation period, 30 to 90 days after the CDL. In this case, obviously, he got his last spring, so we'll pass that. The gentleman, Alex, the gentleman that just got his, I'll probably do 30 days on him, but I don't think we need to do a probation period. One of the things I'm trying to change out there is a more organized approach to the salary structure.
Very well, the mistakes we made, when we passed, that year we passed paying for sending people to get their CDLs. We never specified that after they got it, when they get the raise, and kind of left that to Hurt, and Hurt never brought it back to us. So I do commend John and the new superintendent. I met with him on trying to clean up this stuff. That's a little bit of a mess now. And so we're gonna have a few of these issues pop up, and yeah, that's something that should have been laid out in black and white before and never was, and he's trying to fix it, so.
Counselor, do we need to have a motion on this today in order for that to happen next month? And
That would probably be helpful if you give me direction on what you want prepared in the ordinance. Put that in the minutes.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve John's request on these two people.
we have a motion to approve.
With him to hit the line and personnel and spell exactly what he needs here.
Is there a second to that motion?
Is that retroactive on the one?
And next retroactive to the first year. In fact, I would mean it's retroactive back to when he actually passed the CDL, which was last year, but I'll go with the first year.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request by Mr. Ayers.
Question.
Is
I
there
have a question.
discussion?
Yeah. John, do they do a contract when you agree to send them to CDL school?
They do.
Is there anything in the contract about they will receive a pay raise after a set period of time?
No, the contract
after they
just
get that?
refers to repayment of the fees for the CDL.
Okay, is, in the future, and I realize we can't do anything retroactive, I think it would be beneficial if something like that was in writing, so it's not that, okay, this person, and is it Nick, I guess, the individual who passed CDL almost a year ago and has not gotten anything, and then someone who just passed it 2 weeks ago is gonna be compensated within probably 5 weeks after he passed, or 6. And going back to the beginning of the year, I think is appropriate, but I would say we probably need to have something so they know what's gonna come. So they know it's either 60, 90 days, so after 90 days, they can come to you if somebody's dropped the ball.
And that's what I mean when I said I'm trying to get us to a more organized approach to when the increases occur. And at budget time, we're gonna present something that lays that out more organized going into next year. But for right now, people are kind of all over the place. And there's reasons for that, and sometimes there's reasons why you don't give them that raise right away. But
Well, and I understand the trial period, because just because you pass a class doesn't mean you're gonna be successful.
Right.
So, I understand that.
Right.
Thank you.
And I will take some of the blame for this, like I said, I'm trying to clean some of this stuff up, but just like with shop foreman position, I'll take some of the heat for this not being cleaned up before now. So these are some of the issues we're trying to fix.
Anyone else?
CDL class, what's that costing us now, John? That's changed a bunch.
We've got enough, we'll have this coming up again 4 more times here soon. The one Alex just finished, and the guy's gonna be finishing this week or next. I believe it's around $5,000. That's through C1. But we're exploring another option that's a lot less time and a lot less cost, and they come to us.
how many have gone through this and how many are still with us?
I don't know how many have gone through it. I know that 2 or 3 of them that we've sent through have left.
A few of them have been terminated.
I don't know that those were ones that went through the training that we picked.
One of them-
I don't know the numbers on that. Dave.
One
I
of
can
them
get
did
for you.
because he did a little electrical job for us.
Yes, right, he is one, yeah, one of them did. I'll get numbers for you on that.
Unfortunately.
We would like to, I'd like to hire people already with CDLs.
Sure.
I don't like us paying for training.
Sure.
It takes time. We're paying them while they're going to training, so it's expensive. And while we have that agreement, if push came to shove, I don't know how enforceable that would be. I mean, I don't know how successful we would be in trying to collect it if we had to take action to try to collect them on those agreements. But
So with that, Mr. President, since we set this up with the salary stuff, Rhonda, we have a 6-month review, remember?
Yes, after.
Wouldn't that fall with that as well, with them with the CDL?
They're graded positions, I believe, so they fall into the same.
it would be 6 months from when they're hired, not
Yeah.
necessarily when they got there.
So it sounds like these gentlemen here have passed their CDL and they didn't get that 6-month review.
Nick did. The other one hasn't been there 6 months yet. So, and we have some that when we hire them without CDLs, I won't say we have some. We keep them like 90-day probation before, or 60 to 90 days before we send them to training to see if
It's gonna work.
we want to invest the money or not.
Yeah,
And sometimes we don't.
understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you very much.
Just so I understand what we did, our motion authorizes that an amendment to the salary ordinance be prepared for us for next
Yes, sir.
month. Okay.
Yes, sir. Next item is new business, and that first is the salary ordinance amendment that Ann is going to discuss.
Yes, it looks like some of the people in the assessor's office have been budgeted for what happens when they pass their next level of completion, their certification. But I left some off, and that was just because I didn't know who was gonna go for their test this year. So this, all I did was add all of the possible lines on here so that it would cover anyone who passes their test. And that's just going from a level 1 to 2 or a level 2 to 3.
Is there any discussion?
So does that mean they will need an additional appropriation?
No, we budgeted for all 2 to 3 lines, depending on the employee. Because when
I know, yeah.
employees leave, they have to go back to level 1, and then it was getting very confusing. So we budgeted for everything, I just didn't put them on the ordinance.
So it's up to the assessor to award that at the time?
Yes, at that time. Yeah,
The
because,
payroll change form?
yeah, it gets not complicated, but compound, I guess, in that there's level 1, level 2, level 3, and it takes time in order to advance through those. So, any other questions, discussion?
So Ann, just to clarify, some of these people, if they don't meet their certification, will not get paid this amount.
Right.
Right. This would be an appropriate, well, this would provide for it if they do.
Yeah, so all of these in here, if it says level 1 certification supplemental, that means they have already passed that test and were receiving it. And then the one says level 2 after certification was I knew that they were gonna take their test and they would be receiving the next level. The ones at the bottom are provided in case they pass their tests.
So would it be possible to, maybe probably ask Nikki, when she does that, just to let us know that 3 people
Yeah.
pass their level 2?
It
Is
would
Nikki?
probably be on, we could put it on the HR report.
The salary, so the appropriation is there, which means you have the authority to spend. But this document is when you were ready to spend. So I'm questioning whether or not we need to have language in the ordinance that says if they meet their qualifications, because otherwise we're telling State Board of Accounts that this is what we intend to pay this person.
Yeah.
Could we get a short amendment, maybe, just if I could add some language, maybe?
It's not like it's not like a tomorrow.
Okay, so in section 1, we could add a sentence that says, provided that the employee meets the qualifications for the certification, the following attached schedule, Exhibit A, is hereby amended, approved, and adopted. Should we add something like that? And sorry about this, because I didn't realize this is what you were attaching.
I like that much better, because I think I had the same concern. As it stands, I think it could be construed that we are raising those salaries now when it's supposed to be conditional.
Okay, let me read this out here, and then I'll read it, and maybe we could have someone offer an amendment.
As information, they have several opportunities to take the test. It's not just one time a year. So, and they have multiple conferences, so different levels. They have multiple opportunities, so it's not like you can knock on the door and take a test and get it. There's scheduled opportunities.
So we are amending today an amendment that's been presented.
I really prefer that we wait until they've passed their certification, and then we go back and amend it then, if that's possible, because.
I think the problem was that we were having a hard time approving the supplemental pay because it wasn't in the salary ordinance. So I think we just need direction. If we know it's gonna be approved, can we go ahead and give these people their certifications?
Not their certifications, their supplemental pay.
Yeah, for their certifications.
That's when I think it really should come back here, at that time when they've met their certification, that it should come back here to be amended at that time.
And
Not
that
that
amendment-
we do it in advance.
And that amendment could be a retroactive
Yes, it could be.
increase. Yeah,
So we should defer this to next month then.
If we could defer it, let's get the exhibit correct, if we can wait that long, if it makes, that would be the best scenario.
Okay, we'll wait a month.
Yeah, we can include it with the amendment for next month.
Okay,
Motion to table?
we have a motion to table. And we have a second. Discussion?
Just, again, stating that if we need to retroactive anything, we can do that if you have to put some wording in there, Robin, that covers any retroactivity.
That basically is following what we intended to do with all the others that were appropriated to midpoint. Or
Yeah.
salary ordinance says what they actually make.
Okay, so we have tabled that item. Our next item is,
You have a vote on that.
no, we can vote. Nope. We have a motion to
Motion and
table and a second. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next item is on the agenda is the payroll request from the Honorable Kate Kuhn.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm Kate Keene. I am the Superior Court 1 judge here in Hendricks County. And I'm not asking for necessarily, I don't think, a payroll increase. If that's the way it's considered, then I understand that. And I understand there are policies about how that's handled. When I took the bench last year, There had been a lady that was a court reporter, and she had been promoted by the prior judge to an office manager to begin in January of 2025. There was an office manager in a different court, in Superior Court 3, that was losing her job, and so I asked her to come and work in Superior Court 1 to fill a position that we had for a court reporter. So a year ago, we had a lady that was a court reporter, grade 28, moved to grade 31, and a grade 31 employee from Superior 3 moved down to a grade 28. And we did that for the entire year. After the first year, the 2 weeks at the end of December, I was able to look back and see things that I wanted to change. And one of those things was to actually switch these two ladies due to experience level, due to things that I had seen over the past year. And I felt like it was better for our court to have the lady that had been moved to the office manager now go back to her position as a court reporter where she had been in Superior 1, and then elevate the lady that had come from Superior 3 as an office manager, elevate her back to office manager. And so I made that decision to do that effective February 13th. Not being as experienced with the governmental policies and things of that nature, I started looking into it and seeing how that worked. I met with Aaron and did a lot of investigation. We have 6 office managers currently in the courthouse, and the pay ranges are from $39.88 an hour, which is the lowest, to $40.90. And the $39.88 lady that makes that money in Superior 3 came to that position in January of 2025 with no experience, had never worked in the court system, had never been an office manager, and is still working right now to get her bearings and to learn her job. Very bright lady, but it was very difficult to see the change in the rate for my ladies. The lady that was going back down to the grade 28 and the lady that was going to go up to the grade 31, the amounts that were being discussed as to pay for them, to me, didn't seem in line with where they should be. Now, the court reporter, the lady that had been the grade 31 that has moved down to grade 28, that was worked out, and we have her at that correct level. She has been being paid that amount since February 16th. When they switched jobs. My office manager has went ahead and taken that role on as of February 16th, but she is still being paid at her grade 28 because of the discussion as to what should be the proper payroll or the proper hourly rate for her grade 31. The amount that was given to me, very graciously, I will say, by the county was $40.09. That was determined by, instead of going back to the grade 31, it was determined by going back to where she had been in Superior Court 3 and then moving that forward as if she had never changed that job, which I do feel is very gracious to do that. That allows her to keep her longevity. It allows her to keep any increase she would have gotten over the last year. My concern with that amount is that hourly rate was $40.09, which is just, 21 cents or 21 cents higher than the lowest paid lady. And my office manager had been an office manager previously in Superior Court 3. And so what I did was I looked at what the other office managers in the courthouse were making, and that is between $40.39 and $40.90. And we as judges are trying to keep all of our people, taking into consideration their longevity, around the same area. And so when I looked at that, I felt like paying my office manager $40.09, much lower than the other ladies that have experience, or I apologize. We have one man, Mr. Shrewsbury, was not in line with where she should be. And so my request today is that she be increased to that $40.39 rate hourly rate, which is the lowest amount of the people that have experience. I have talked to the other judges and specifically Judge LeMay Lucan about this, and we felt that that was in line with where her experience level was in keeping in line with the other people that we have as office managers. It also distinguishes her quite a bit from not having any experience like our lowest paid lady does. You've been handed, I think, an email that I sent to Erin that gives a little bit of background as to why I'm making this request. In that particular email, I had included the amount $40.50. That was, my initial amount was going to try to put her in the mix of the upper 5 office managers, but after going through that and realizing what the experience that the lady has is making $40.39, then I'm going to back that down because I think it is only fair to keep her with that other lady. So it would be an increase of her rate for grade 31 to $40.39 for the change that she is being made. So when I think about it, I don't think of it as me giving her a raise because she has just taken this position now, more as just allowing her to start her grade 31 rate at $40.39, where she would be in line with the other office managers.
Questions?
It's 28 that went down.
Excuse me?
The lady that went down to
Yes.
the 28th grade,
Yes.
where's her salary fall on the pay scale of the 28?
She was also given the ability to go back to where she was in December of 2024 and come back. So she right now is being paid in line with what she would have made had she never been an office manager, had she remained the grade 28. So my apologies, I can't give you the exact number, where it lands on the scale for her.
Those what she was making before was just our typical yearly raises.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
I know that sometimes it seems like it is confusing when you're talking about flopping chairs here. But in essence, you have an open position. When the 28 lady moved down, so left her chair open.
Yes.
So and then this blade came out and out here in limbo. So you're actually filling a established position, which is your right. And as I understand it, that's your right to bring somebody in wherever you want to, as long as you're in the pay grade. But if you're over the 50% mark of that pay grade, then you're supposed to come to us for that approval. So in essence, that's what you're doing.
It is.
And so I understand your argument.
Other questions?
I commend you for your research because you could work in HR maybe.
Thank you. This is all new to me. Prior to taking the bench, I was a private practice attorney and worked for private firms. And so when you gave salaries or you did things, it was very different. So I definitely wanted to understand how this works. I definitely want to make sure to stay in line with what the other judges are doing and honor what we are trying to do with all our employees. None of us want to have, each individual's coming down here all the time to request changes. And so that's why I reached out and spoke to Judge LeMay Lucan to make sure we were all in line. And I do feel this is within line.
Appreciate you
Yeah.
coming.
Thank you.
I just want to give you a little history. We used to pay everybody midpoint. Everybody made the same. It became a real sticking point when a one-year employee made the same as a 25-year employee. So they got a longevity bump. So in essence, your new office manager had a $300 longevity bump. Your old one, who went down to 28, had $1,500. So the wages will never be the same, and the performances were slightly different. So they will never be the same, and I don't know how we fix that.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So actually, your new office manager is getting, at this rate, getting the benefit of the old one's $1,500.
Well, all right. Yeah, interestingly enough, the old office manager, she was just there for a year, was actually making over 41. So when I saw that, I thought, whoa, she's making more than any of the ladies. And because initially I thought, well, let's just swap their things and I'll stay in budget. But that would have not been fair in any way because she was being paid more than some people with 20 years experience. And
Right, she probably has 20 years. She looks like a baby, but
she does, yeah, not as office
Yeah.
manager though, definitely
Right.
in the system and is a wonderful employee. I'm so glad that even though there was some switch, that she has agreed to stay and is very happy, and I'm happy to have her. I have wonderful people.
So figuring it the way going back and moving forward, the new employee is getting that $1,500 benefit of the old employee.
Okay.
So, and they will never match, so because of
Yeah.
performance and the longevity.
Yeah.
And that's something we're just gonna have to deal with for the future.
It is difficult, it is.
Any other questions or whatever? A motion, would someone make a motion? We need to approve this, I believe.
How long has she been in that job? Has she been doing that job, or is she doing that new job now?
Yes, the lady that was promoted to office manager has been doing the job since February 16th, so I would like to ask for her pay to be retroactive back to that, just because she is still earning the grade 28 pay. So this to be retroactive back to that. But prior to working in Superior Court 1, she was in Superior 3 as their office manager.
Yeah.
Yes. But they had a new judge, and so their employees switched as well.
So this sounds like it's just another amendment to the salary ordinance, which we can include now we've got 3 items to amend. So as long as I can get that email that explains what you're after, so I can draft your.
I will get you a copy. I have an extra.
I can prepare that along with the other 2 changes for next meeting.
Except that email asks for
Yeah, it does ask for.
$40.50.
Correct. That's what I said.
If you want to clarify
$40.39.
what you're approving the ordinance to say, I can prepare that just like the motion we did before.
It's 30 cents per hour, correct?
Yes, yeah, the 409 was what was being offered, and I'm asking her to be paid $439.
I'd like to make a motion, we tell Ron to add this with the approval of the 40.39 cents per hour retroactive back to when she started the position in February.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Yes?
You can always count on me. I just met Judge Kuhn at Keene, sorry, I used to call
okay.
her
I'm sorry, I
Judge
mispronounced
Keene.
No, that's all right, I'll answer to anything.
I asked her how to say it. At Frank's, we had a lovely chat. She's, I think, a wonderful judge, never heard anything bad. I referred somebody to her and I didn't even know her. But once you make this, approve this, every person in the whole system can come to you with the same request. That's why I cautioned you against it. That's, because, it's just the matter of the people. Except those who have.
But this is a
Matrix.
person who's taking taking on more responsibility in a new position.
But she's paid what the old office manager was getting with the $1,500 extra. I'm sorry to be fighting against you.
I appreciate it, no, yeah. Yeah.
And it's not much money. I mean, it'd be easy, but once you set a precedent,
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, and I don't, here again, like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of how it works with grades and the midpoints and all of that. I just know when I look at it.
Welcome to the club.
When I look at it and for the last year, our office manager was making over 41, I think it was 4103. And now this office manager, when she is now going to be making $40.39. I don't look at it as her making the same. And she will be doing the same job, but I also understand that prior to me coming, that $41.30 was budgeted by a different judge. So I know there were conversations that took place that I was not aware, I'm not involved in, but I just want her to be in line with the other office managers, so at least from our departments in the courthouse, nobody is coming in saying, well, my office manager isn't being paid the same. I'm trying to keep, but I do understand there are probably other grade 31 people in the county that could have that same issue.
Every grade.
Absolutely.
Every grade every every employee could fall under that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's bit us before. And no one ever wants to turn down a judge either. So,
Well,
a brand new judge.
You can't consider that when I'm standing up here. I'm just an employer asking for my lady, that's all.
Call
There's
for the
no
question,
problem.
please.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
We have 5 versus 2, passes 5-2. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
That was with, well, did you get the, okay, well, yeah.
Did you make it retroactive?
Yes.
Okay, our next item is the additional appropriations.
Yeah, that's right.
First of all, I'm going to open the public hearing for anyone who wants to comment on these 20 items.
I do have a comment. This is on your sheet, but on your additional appropriation sheet, 3 of the Parks and Rec people that I had corrected last month were mistakenly under general, and they should have been under their innkeepers. So when you're approving it, you're approving their correct account lines, but I also would like the motion to include voiding the ones from general that we approved last month.
That's right, okay. Questions?
Is
Motion?
that the 15 through 20? Is that the one you're talking about disapproving?
15, 16, 17.
I make a motion to approve 1 through 20.
Motion, we have a motion to approve 1 through 20. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Nancy can have it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 1 through 20. Discussion?
I want to clarify something on the, this is 1 through 20. The ones at the bottom, well, they all look like they're reducing the accounts. Because everything in parentheses is a negative, is my understanding, for accounting purposes. So we're reducing both accounts by the same amount?
So the parts 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, those account lines don't exist. They were just listed on the approval sheet as 1001.
Okay.
And so those can just be voided because there's nothing there. And then the 15, 16, 17, that is their true account numbers, and those are being reduced to go from the 4% to the 3%.
Okay, thank you.
Does the motion need to void to 1 through 3?
Sorry.
Yeah, I would,
Someone with a public comment.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I forgot to close the public hearing.
But make sure that there aren't any.
Come and take a comment. Step forward and provide your name.
If you would give us our name. your
Hello, my
and
name is Maria
address.
Stedham,
Your
and
address.
yeah, I had addressing concerns about the phase 2 of the road work for over in like Ronald Reagan in the Brownsburg area, and I didn't know when I should address that, or if like this is the time, or,
That would be under public comments.
Yeah.
Public
Okay.
comments, which will be later on the agenda.
okay, so I can do that later?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're getting close to them.
I just didn't know, and I didn't wanna miss my opportunity.
didn't, no.
Okay,
We're-
thank you.
We're getting close.
Okay, thank you.
We,
So my motion need to add that 1, 2, 3, deleting them?
yeah, it's basically just erasing the approval.
Yeah, to add deleting 1, 2, 3 from the previous approval.
okay, see, it would be your motion that you are amending,
Yes, and Nancy second.
and are you agreeable on the second? Okay, we have a motion that's been amended, and we have a motion and a second on that. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 7-0. Under other business, the first item is approval of the HR report. Aaron, could you come forward and in case we have any questions on that? She didn't like, I'm sorry. This is the issue that she didn't like. Yeah.
I sent a copy of the HR report to Ann, which is attached here. I've also had phone calls with each one of you guys regarding the HR report, which is on page 1, the front page. As far as, those are items that all 3 are action items that need for your approval.
I move to approve all 3 of the action items.
We have a motion to approve the HR report, and we have a second, I believe. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes 6-1.
Okay, and then the second page is the standard report that I send over plus the bonus worksheets. So, I think you guys just approved a couple things. I think it all goes.
I believe the second page would be for our information. Next item is some discussion on ARPA. And Nancy, you're the one who's the coordinator final on this. As a review, when we received the ARPA funds from the federal government, it was to the tune, I believe, of $33 million. And the committee that then determined how that should be allocated, and there were many different areas, places, and entities that received those funds. And Nancy was monitoring those while she was auditor. And now, this calendar year, those funds must be expended. They need to have been used, or they need to be returned, or whatever, to kind of give you a little background on that. And we've had some concern about with it being spread into so many entities that there may be small amounts of money that could be expended this year that might not be. And so that's the discussion that, and I think Nancy will be able to, Ms. Marsh will be able to address that.
I prepare a quarterly report, every quarter. I, as the administrator, signed an interagency agreement between myself when I was fiscal officer, which is the auditor, and each entity, the Hendricks County Communications Centers. This agreement I just brought out, it's 10 pages long, and it defines exactly what you do if you don't use your funds for the scope of your project. Your project has to agree with what you asked for and the commissioners approved. And if you didn't have time to do it or whatever, you can ask that it be resolved, reassigned. If it's 25% of your whole grant, it has to go to the commissioners. And we've had one, the B&O, I believe, came and asked for some of their money to be reallocated to their project still, but it didn't meet the scope. If it's a lower than 25%, I am authorized to allow it to happen. I just think it's good practice to run it by the commissioners, so no one else has asked. But we will not be sending any money back. I will guarantee that on my life.
So far, all your monitoring is showing that they are expending this money.
Yes, we have, like, the fairgrounds had 3 or 4 projects, HVAC, like the bill might not have been exactly what they predicted. You have some, even pennies, dollars and pennies left over. There's some of that out there that we're trying to reconcile, and actually I have to close each report. We had 110 projects, so you're right, our money was spread out far and wide, all excellent projects. We are not Minnesota. There is no money that's been frauded, stolen. It's Paula even rejected a bill that I think it had alcohol on it. So I mean, we look at the bills. We are monitoring. We are doing it right, and I stand upon that. And there just is no chance that we will have to pay any back. And it has to be spent by December 31st. We have one glitch that I'm still trying to work out, is the communication center switch. And I envision a great big light switch. $1,799,000 We have that money sitting there. We have not paid that. And Plainfield, I've talked to town manager, Jared, Renee, Todd, the commissioners signed that, they signed the agreement, but no one's ever billed us. I've looked through our system, and we've got that money sitting there, so I need to get that. Somebody needs to bill us for that, but we've got the money sitting there for that. Now, if they don't bill us, which they will, somebody's missing $1 million.
Eric, you're on that board. Do you have any knowledge on that?
AT&T is a very big company, and they don't always have their stuff together, is the best way to put it.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
They need a utility.
I'm surprised somebody isn't looking for it, but they looked.
My response on that is with what Eric said, I think it falls in the lap of AT&T. And so I don't know what happens, Nancy, if we come to the end of the year and it.
We'll write them a check.
Well, it would be great if they're not gonna bill us, then somebody else could use that money.
Right,
But we need to know that soon.
I
right.
understand.
I'm sure they're going to,
I
they're
can
going to.
speak on that if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
So we have been communicating with them weekly. They assure us it's in the mail. So,
Okay.
Weekly, huh?
Yes, yes. So we want them to bill you as much as you want them to bill you, and so they assure us it's on the way. If it's not,
I reached out to Plainfield,
Have
Jared,
them come
and
forward.
Okay. Could you come forward
Yes.
and give us your name and?
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't know he was here.
I didn't see.
Jared McKee, I'm the Public Safety Director at Plainfield.
And your financial guy, I reached out to have them look to see if they paid it
Yes.
by, they did not. And I've looked everywhere in our financials and I
Yeah,
can't.
so we did turn over everything to Todd, and he had it, and AT&T said they were gonna send it, they never did. They did tell us we didn't, and that they were going to, but again, I would want my $1 million, apparently AT&T's not as worried about it. And
Small change.
so, yes, so we talked to them, I think, it's about a week ago, and they said that it was in the mail. Now, I don't know what that means.
Do you think to you guys?
No, we have told them over and over again, it needs to come here.
County, okay.
Yeah, because we don't want to have to pay that out of other funds.
Correct, yes, and neither do we, so.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's a bill we owe.
Right.
So if we don't get it covered, they're at some point gonna be yelling at us for the money.
Exactly.
Well, can we cover our butt by sending a letter to them saying if you don't get the bill to us by this date, you're out the money? Because I don't have to take it out of some other fund and pay for it.
It's $1 million.
Yeah, give me, if you don't get it in the next 30 days, then we can coordinate and maybe send a legal letter and tell them.
Yeah, we've got over half a year, so.
Yeah.
No, I don't wait till the last minute.
I'm sorry?
We have that done by our next meeting.
Yes. Yep.
That's 3% of the total fund.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I'll have an answer to you next meeting exactly if they need us to send something a little bit more stern than an email.
March, April, yeah, we better stay on top of that.
Yeah, because time
I
just
have-
keeps.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up on TV or,
Yes, yeah.
I am on top of this.
What kind of silver bracelet you're looking for, is it?
No.
If I don't hear anything for you before the next meeting, then I'll be here
Okay.
with an answer from
Okay.
them. I'll follow.
The status of funds shows we have a balance of 8 million left, 8,708,000. So that would include the 1,799,000 and the other.
So we still have about 25% or so of the 33 million to be expended this year then.
And Paula sent out an email to everyone on the list who still have money left. So they should be aware that they need to get on that. And we have already received some claims this year.
That would be a lot of funds for us to lose the benefit to our citizens.
Is there any interest coming to
Yes.
play on that?
Yes.
Is that being added to the back end or is that something?
It's completely
used?
separate. It's
The
completely
interest is
separate,
separate.
can be used for any purpose. So
That's what-
it has been very nice revenue source,
Yes, it has,
so.
certainly. I believe our treasurer will testify to that.
Yes.
Yeah, she's smiling, so. Okay, well, thank you, Nancy, for that update on that. Our next item is the status of funds report review. Anyone care to comment, or you need to, or can we move on?
And the emporium opens up in Avon, so there's gonna be more food revenue.
Okay, good. Good news. Okay, at this time, we want to do an acknowledgement of the true rural report. I've got Ann or Chelsea on this, so Ann, you're it.
Yes, we came to the office last January and we kind of really just wanted to get a feel for the homestead status of Hendricks County to see if there were any people that were claiming homestead that did not qualify. True Rural is a wonderful company and they do massive investigating into the process and they give you literally all of the details of why they are suspicious that a property does not qualify for a homestead deduction. And then our ladies go through and hand touch every single one and investigate what they came up with to see if it is true, if it's the reality of the situation, and then we decide if we want to back charge them.
It's your decision.
It's our decision, so it's a case-by-case basis. We are not at all trying to go after people. We are trying to clean it up. And there's people who have been renting out their house for 20 years. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, and they have just never known that they were supposed to remove it. So this is just cleaning it up. We are not going after people, and I just wanted to give you a report. This is from 2025. We started in June, and then this is updated through March 1st. So this kind of gives you how many parcels they've looked at, how many we've looked at and touched, and what we've billed for. And I just thought it'd be really good for you guys to see and hold in your hand.
Well, I think it's very significant because it's over $600,000, so that's significant.
I have a question about that. So that 600,000 that they they put it in the report, do they get the 30% of that figure?
Yes, that includes their 30%, and we pay them out of that pot.
So they got roughly $200,000 for
Yeah.
their work.
Yeah, that's very similar to the auditing on the business personal property.
TMA.
Are you getting any, or have you had any pushback from folks that you're now trying to collect from?
The pushback we've had have been from renters. I would say the majority have been renters. And that is solely because they have multiple properties and the taxes go up quite a bit. So we have been able to work with them. We're not trying to be a company that goes after people. So we're saying this is what you owe legally, and we are in discussion about what that looks like for them. Sometimes it's, my parents have been living there and I just didn't change over the deed. Like, we want to work with people. We're here to help, but we also need to do what's right and collect the money.
I have another question that I wondered about when you signed up last year. So if they find it and send it to you and it's basically true, like parents are living there, do you still have to pay for them finding it?
No,
If you don't,
we only pay
recover
from what
the-
we collect.
At your discretion.
I mean, there was a $7,000 down payment. So that would cover like the initiation of them investigating. And that came out of our pocket last year.
Out of the pot, okay.
So other than that, they only get the 30% from what we've collected.
Yeah, so that 7,000 is very small compared to what the results have been.
Yeah.
Other questions? Next item is the acknowledgement of the Consumer Price Index report for January 26.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to have it in your hands because last year it took a while for us to get everything situated. I know we are just now starting to get to the billing process, so hopefully in the next couple months, we'll be able to see our numbers and determine what next year's gonna look like. But since you guys had referenced this last year, I wanted to provide it for you this year.
I appreciate it very much for you getting it for us now. The number is 2.4% for the Midwest region, which we are part of, which would be the increase over last year, for as far as of January. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to open up for public comments. I think we might have somebody. If you'll come forward, please. We will need your name and address.
Address?
And name.
Okay, my name is Maria Stedham, and I am a Brownsburg resident of 10182 East County Road, 1000 North. And I just wanted to express my objections to the Phase 2 of the proposed County Road 1000 North improvement project, that it impacts our property and that it would be reconsidered before any further design or funding commitments are made. We reside in a home that was built in 1930, and it has been identified as being affected as part of Phase 2 of the project. It's not simply a residence, but it's a working homestead where we are raising our 4 children, growing crops, and caring for our animals. According to the project notice, that Phase 2 would require approximately 17.13 acres of new permanent right-of-way, primarily in the strips along County Road 1000 North. This would bring the roadway dangerously close to our front porch, fundamentally altering the safety and liability and character of our home. The proximity of the expanded roadway raises serious concerns regarding traffic noise, vehicle speed, loss of privacy, and most importantly, the safety of our children. A road designed with 12-foot travel lanes and 8-foot shoulders is incompatible with a family homestead setting with the distance. It would not just be a minor inconvenience, it would permanently and negatively affect our daily life. Our property relies on the original functioning field tile septic system with the home. It's never been replaced or modified, and it has been remained in continuous use since the home was constructed. And this system represents original era infrastructure, typically of early 12th century rural development. The proposed widening places the system at risk and disturbance, forced replacement solely due to the project, not because of any failure. Such an outcome would impose a significant and unnecessary financial burden on our family and could create avoidable environmental and public health concerns as well. Given the age of our home and the presence of original infrastructure, our property also may be eligible for consideration as a historic resource under the state or federal criteria. Any project that may impact potentially historic properties warrants careful evaluation and documentation before irreversible decisions are made. We are not aware of any historic resource reviews specific to our property as part of Phase 2 yet. I'm also deeply concerned by the lack of coordinated planning beyond the project's limits. As noted in the proposal, that Phase 2 remains conceptual and is dependent on future funding. At the same time, Marion County, which borders this corridor, is not continuing a corresponding road widening effort. This means the project would terminate near our property, creating an abrupt transition and a traffic bottleneck rather than a meaningful long-term improvement. Widening the roadway only to constrict it again undermines the stated purpose of improving geometry and traffic flow while concentrating negative impacts on the small number of homeowners. It also acknowledges that some of the homeowners will have to relocate as part of this project. While our property is currently identified in Phase 2, the extent of the right-of-way acquisition and proximity of the roadway raise serious concerns about long-term displacement pressure. A loss of severe impairment of established family homesteads should not be treated as collateral damage, especially when Phase 2 has not yet undergone full design, environmental, or historical review. I respectfully ask that the council and the highway department reconsider Phase 2 of this project, explore alternatives that reduce or eliminate impacts to existing homes, and pause further advancement until coordinating planning with adjacent jurisdictions is achieved and appropriate reviews are completed. So thank you for your time and consideration, and I respectfully request that these concerns be entered into the public record for fully considered as the project moves forward.
Thank you very much for coming forward. I'm going to ask John Ayers, our county engineer, if he might come up if you've got some comments. Phase 2, I believe, like you have not, negotiations have not started yet on your property, I believe. So the council is the financial entity of the county, if you will, whereas the Board of Commissioners are the executive and the legislative. And so your concerns need to be directed in that to them. I'm saying that because in a former life, I was involved in highways and bridges. And so I believe I'm saying the proper thing here. And so I want to turn this over to John for to address you on your concerns. And I think that you probably will need to follow up with them.
I think we've seen correspondence from you on this already, I think.
Okay, I didn't know who.
It was in town or who, but I remember seeing correspondence.
Yeah, I think I sent it to Brownsburg.
Okay. Just for everybody else's edification, if you're not sure, this is for 1,000 north between 267 to the county line, and like she said, we're doing it in 2 phases. One to get just past the Ronald Reagan Parkway to about 900, and then the second phase goes east from there to the county line. The first phase has a bid date of this December, so it's, I mean, our right-of-way's bought, things are in place, we're doing utility relocations. Second phase, like she also said, is an unknown schedule yet because we don't have funding. We're going to start figuring that out here soon. But the main thing we wanted to do was get 1,000 north opened up between the Parkway and 267. Now the thing to remember here is it's not a it's a widening and improvement of a 2-lane roadway, not going to a 4-lane roadway, because our studies had going into it years ago. 10 years ago, I felt like it would probably be a capacity improvement like we'd done 56th Street, and it doesn't warrant that in the design window for 25 years or so. So it is just a widened 2 lanes, like she said, wider lanes, shoulders. They are a lot wider than what's there now, but for a 2-lane roadway carrying the volumes that does, even in her section, really warrants wider lanes and wider shoulders for safety reasons. Marion County interface, like with 56th Street, we improved 56th Street to Raceway Road. At that time, on the promise from Marion County, they were going to go ahead and extend that on east. They subsequently changed their mind. On this corridor, I don't know the Marion Counties, they're not promising anything. But we still have a responsibility to increase the safety in our section, and I think that's what this does more than anything, especially once you get east of the Parkway. That's more of a safety improvement for the traffic that's there now. And I think Hendricks County has a responsibility to do that. It's not really a capacity improvement, so I don't think you're going to see a big traffic bottleneck there at 1075. I mean, I don't think we're going to see that kind of issue. As far as how it affects her property, and I don't remember now, at the time I saw your correspondence, I looked at your property real briefly. So I can't tell you how far off the road the right-of-way is going to be on the current plans yet. We have done initial environmental investigations though for the whole road, and that includes your section, and that includes the historical documentation. And so, speaking out of turn here a little bit, because that's why we hire consultants to do the historical stuff, but your property did not show up as a historical property that needed to be avoided or mitigated. So, and that's not to take away from some of the value that you see there and some of the historical value that we try to be aware of, but as being designated historical property that would change the route of the project or require additional mitigation, that's not really there. So when we go to buy right away, you know, we do appraisals, we make you an offer, and then at that point the negotiations start if you want compensation for the things. You know, any damage to septics or drainage or anything like that we take care of. I mean, we'll construct that into the project.
Because our old field tile goes directly, it's like out front, and it actually goes underneath the road into the field on the other side.
And so if we're going to disturb that, which we probably would, we will take care of that, redirect it or whatever we need to do. So we, you know, continue that so that it's not cut off. So we take care of all that during the right-of-way process. So the bulk of your issues probably we'll deal with when we get there to buy right-of-way from you. I mean, it's up to the commissioners. This is their project. So if they direct me to do something different, I will. Right now, we're proceeding with with that project at some point in the future based on funding, but we'll address most of these issues when we get to the right-of-way acquisition stage.
Okay, because I noticed also that in some of the paperwork, a lot of the septics were labeled out in the properties, except ours, probably because ours is so old that
Right,
it
if it's
wasn't.
not permitted and we don't know for sure where it is, then
Right,
yeah, we don't know.
so then, is there something, who do I need to reach out to that will be able to?
We would do that at the time of, that's pretty common to do at time of right-of-way.
Okay.
When we approach you and start negotiating to buy, you say, well, we've got a septic field here, then we'll figure out who's gonna locate it and figure out exactly what we need to do to take care of that. So, I don't know, like he said, this is more of a commissioner's issue than a council issue as far as making the decision, but, so I'll give you a card after the meeting.
And so you don't have to come back down here unless you want to. There is a commissioner sitting right there behind you, so that you were heard by a commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to make public comments? Okay, hearing none. Any elected officials present who would like to have a comment? We do not have any. We've got some elected officials, but no comments, thank you. See, council, Mr. Cox.
Indiana weather. Paid off on Sunday, freeze on Monday. I have any else with it.
Ms. Marsh?
I just wanted to remind everybody on the council about the district meetings, April 9th at the Walden Inn in Greencastle. I think that's a Thursday.
I'm signed up to be
And Ann
there.
was making reservations, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I signed up everyone who requested to be signed up. I didn't.
Did you get mine, Ann?
Yes, I'd like
Okay,
to be signed up too.
Did you get mine, Ann?
yeah,
Okay.
so everybody
Send
will
it.
send to you, and then
Okay, very good. Well, I plan to be there unless it's ice, snow, and 2 feet or whatever. So, Mr. Wyatt?
The only thing I'm picking up a lot of, to this young lady's point, and to Commissioner Dawes, is a lot of people from Brown Township and Boone counties talking about the water issue with AES.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Consortium that ironically happened the day after legislation session closed. And I had a long conversation with Brian Buchanan, and I've had a long discussion with an IEDC board member, and I'm actually working on a possible meeting with an IEDC and maybe even with the governor.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to impact a lot of economic growth for us in Hendricks County, Boone County, and I think it could possibly impact a lot of agriculture as well.
Yeah, it's potential, it could be a huge impact on Hendricks County. I've had some residents in Lincoln Township already contact me, as well as Brown, the property owners, or it goes. If you would like to come up, you want to comment on that, Mr. Dawes?
Sure, and where did John go? He's right here. So the commissioners have asked Banning Engineering and Lockmiller to do a study, a water study on the impact on Hendricks County, and that is underway. I'm actually meeting this week with Banning to talk a little bit further with them on that. So we're looking at it, not just kind of Brown Township, because that's where they're saying the line's gonna go, but how it's gonna impact the whole county. So that's underway.
It certainly could be a huge impact as far as potential development for the county. Very large.
And they're already laying pipe in Boone County.
Right.
And I don't mean laying pipe in the ground, but they're already staging pipe
Yes.
wherever it's being engineered,
Sure.
going up along that, John, what's that railroad?
And that's a CSX, they're all CSX.
Yeah, long time ago was the Pennsylvania.
Is up in Boone County, they're laying pipe up there, staging it, ready to start in, this thing is further down the road than what I thought it was. So,
And it's a big pipe.
high pressure is what I understand, and for also too, the LEAP project, they're already starting to sell land back off of it. So the LEAP project, I think, has already taken 2 steps forward, they're already taking 1 step back.
Yeah.
So,
Is that I think someone told me that's a 4-foot diameter pipe.
The one I see is not that big, but there's one that's going up, and then there's a return that's coming back. Sort of a loop system, and I don't know where the loop system's coming, but something, maybe it might be coming back down like 421 area over there, coming back in off of 71st Street, back, well, that map doesn't show us, but coming back down somewhere along 421 into 71st Street, back into sort of the tributaries into the north end of Eagle Creek. So this is just the beginning.
Mr. Watson?
Just want to say it's frustrating to spend over an hour talking about payroll and HR issues when in the past been trying to limit that and make it smaller, and we made a system that's so complicated that it takes almost our entire meeting to work through it. That's all.
Mr. Hassett?
I brought up at our last meeting, the matter of a lit council, local income tax council, that would be made up of representatives from the county council and representatives from each of the towns in the county. We don't have any guidance as to how that's to proceed. Association of Indiana Counties is talking with the Department of Local Government Finance, and it's anticipated that at our state call meeting in June, we'll have a program set up to give advice to all the counties as to how to deal with that issue. It's kind of crazy to begin with, and we don't know what the ultimate outcome is going to be.
And that meeting's June 12th, I think.
Yeah, June 12th.
Yeah.
Council Association meeting. Yep.
Okay, Mr. Parsons?
Nothing at this time, Mr. President.
Ms. Dark?
We have submitted abstract because of all the new legislation that went last year with the credits and homestead and everything. It's taken a long time to get everything calculated, so DLGF could approve, but it's a long line. We had only 9 counties submitted on time. And the rest of us all got to them over the weekend, so it's just a wait game. But bills should be going out in April.
I have one other thing I want to have. Since Jeff's back here too, I've been getting some reports about confusion with how the animal control is going to be working. And I just stress that I appreciate if the sheriff would reach out to all parties and really try to clarify how dispatch and the towns are supposed to be handling some of these calls. Because there's still a lot of confusion there. And I think it falls back to, used to be, before the commissioners started doing this new revamp of the animal shelter and animal control, if dispatch received a call and the word animal was in it anywhere, they pushed it over to animal control, when really it could have been a minor disturbance type call that should have been handled by the local police. So they're trying to clarify some of that up and get everybody on board and get it all straight, or nobody feels like they have their toes stepped on. So I just commend Jack for his efforts and just ask that they continue to clarify that for everybody.
Yeah, and if I can speak on that, I have
Please.
a meeting with the chiefs.
Sheriff, if you'll come forward.
So I have had a meeting with the chiefs, and we did discuss kind of the normal mundane animal runs. So if, you know, there's a call in the town of Brownsburg that my neighbor's dog gets out and gets on my property 20 times, there's no reason to call someone from across the county to go handle that situation when the local agency can take care of it. The same with, say, an officer arrests a drunk driver at 3 a.m. there's no reason that I need to call someone out on overtime to go pick up that dog and take it to the shelter. The local agency can take that to the shelter, and we have access to be able to get the animals in there. And so I've asked the local agencies to just pick up on the non-emergency calls for service related to animals. Now, if it's a vicious animal, we will come, whether it's 3 a.m. or 3 in the afternoon, as long as we have people available. And so, yes, it's a change from what historically has been done. However, it's not a change to how it works across the state. Most local towns who have their own police departments and have their own local ordinances enforce their own animal control laws. And again, there's nuances to that. There are situations that they're not prepared to handle. But I think it's more efficient for the local agency to take care of some of those non-emergency calls, animal-related issues. And so we've been working through some of those things, and we'll continue to do so. So it's a work in progress. We just finally have all of the animal control positions that I requested filled, and several of them are in training, trying to get prepared to take care of this.
Yeah, has anything in black and white been put out to them about that, or is this just you talking and then them talking?
Yeah, so, I mean, we had an open discussion with the chiefs specifically, and again, because, it's taken us a minute to get employees and get them hired. It's, initially it fell on every law enforcement agency to take care of it, because we were in that transition period where we didn't have anyone to respond at the time. So,
Well, the problem I'm seeing, I think, is word of mouth. I say it, goes down the line, it changes. So if you could put something black and white out that the chiefs can pass to the councils, and maybe that help clear up some of the fears.
I don't think that's a bad idea either. I will say that, again, just like animal control bites, my animal control supervisor has been working with the health department. We initially thought that we would have the PDs take care of those calls, because those reports come in from the hospital, and then a report goes to the state. We have stepped back in and are now working with the health department, taking care of those, whether the bite occurred in the town or didn't occur in the town, to make sure that the state requirement. So those are work in progress, trying to figure out what's gonna work for everyone and what isn't. But again, change, there's gonna be confusion. Sometimes there's gonna be clarity that needs to be made. And so we're gonna continue to work through that, but ultimately I think it's gonna be more efficient once it's finally up and running and everyone understands exactly what we're doing. Again, every agency has been told if they have a vicious animal, something that they can't handle, to call us and we will come. But if it is if it's a poodle that's not causing any problems and they can handle it, then they've been asked.
I just think more is you should put out to everybody in black and white, covering procedures and policies. I appreciate it.
If I may, the animal board is trying to work to put together a proposed ordinance for the commissioners to consider. And that may well be part of it, but we're trying to be deliberate in regards to it. And we've got the new director of the shelter who's also having some input with it. We want to try and simplify it, but make sure that we adhere to the laws that we're required to. So that may well be part of that. I don't know if that's the sheriff's intent or not, but that may be part of what we're looking at as far as guidance. That would be in black and white for you that we can present to them.
So I know my group is working on a proposal for ordinances and SOPs for our group to go through. And so, again, as far, it's a little fluid at the moment because things are changing and needs are changing. So we'll continue to work through it.
Appreciate it.
I mean, if you want to forward anybody to me that I need to speak with on it, I'm happy to. I know there was a local agency that posted something on social media that had a lot of misinformation. And so we tried to clarify that, make sure that everybody understood. Again, we're working together in this transition period, trying to make sure we're taking care of everything, but being more efficient, so, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Cook, do you have any comments? No? And at this time, I am going to adjourn our meeting. Thank you all.
Yeah, we finally did it. Stop pouring that Eagles.
Okay.